Anticipating the need to entertain myself for the rest of my solitary lunch hour, I had filled my crossbody messenger bag with Secret Wars, X-Men, Avengers, and Aquaman comic books. I removed Secret Wars number 6 from the bag, eager to revisit the adorable subplot in which Janet Van Dyne befriended the wounded supervillain, the Lizard, and domesticated him with her affection. Is there a cuter plot template than Beauty and the Beast, I ask you? Certainly, it was more morally uplifting and emotionally satisfying than St. George killing the dragon. Make love, not war. I sat on my heels, crouching and reading. The shadow of a 7-foot-tall 8th grader fell over me. Backlit by the sun, the 8th grader was an imposing, spike-haired silhouette wearing a red jacket with a popped collar and a black onyx signet initial ring with a bold F on it. Did the F stand for fuckhead? He spoke in an authentic, high-pitched General Patton voice. "So, we got a nerd all alone, huh? Want to join me? I've got comics to share. We can read together." I made this unusual offer because it was exactly the sort of idealistic, tactically brilliant move Wonder Woman would make to disarm her enemies. After all, her Amazon code of military ethics went, "Don't kill if you can wound. Don't wound if you can subdue. Don't subdue if you can pacify. Don't raise your hand at all until you've first extended it." She was my go-to hero to mimic when I was feeling generous. If my Wonder Woman overture failed, I had other heroes I could emulate in times of conflict that employed less pleasant approaches to conflict resolution. "If you give me one of them, I'll rip it to pieces," Fuckhead replied. "God bless you. Arrivederci." "I know you. You're the dick cheese Tony beat up." "If you call 12-on-1 a fair fight, then yeah, I guess you can say he beat me up." "And what the heck is dick cheese? Dicks don't have cheese." "How about you and me go around?" "What are you, twice my size? I'm 5'4". "I'm 6'4", Fuckhead said proudly. I grinned. "Taking me on makes you a real hero, then." "I don't like what you did to Viola. You need to remember that the guy doesn't unzip himself in front of the girl. He waits for the girl to unzip him. You remember that, pervert." Fascinating. I like that rule, and I'm going to adopt it. Seriously. Fuckhead's tone grew more threatening. "You ain't gonna live to adopt it." "Listen, I like that you're defending your friend, but we're wandering into some seriously morally gray territory here. I'm less totally guilty than you think I am. I'm borderline innocent." "Get up." I glanced down at my satchel bag laden with dozens of comics. If I used the shoulder strap to swing it like a weapon, the satchel bag would make a perfect mace in a sling. It might even feel like swinging Thor's hammer Mjolnir from the leather strap. Mjolnir. Awesome! I lowered my voice to a baritone level for the first time as I quoted the mighty Thor, hero of the Marvel Comics universe. "When life doth seem too much to bear, 'tis not the time to renounce the struggle. The ostrich hides, the jackal flees, but man and God do persevere." I gathered the shoulder strap in my fist. "What?" Fuckhead's silhouette acted confused. "How dare thee threaten Thor, son of Odin? Get thee back to Jotunheim, frost giant, or prepare to taste the might of Mjolnir." I rose to my feet. "What the hell are you—" In one swift, smooth motion, I arced Mjolnir through the air, crashing it against the side of Fuckhead's face. He dropped, rolled on his back, clutched his face, and howled in pain. "Are we done here?" I asked. "No." He looked up at me, holding his crimson face, tears streaming from his eyes. He'd be back on his feet, attacking me in another moment. Okay, then. I raised the saddlebag over my head and brought it down with all my strength on the tall, crying boy's head. Then I smashed my bag against him again, and again, and again, and again. 1/2 hour later, Fuckhead and I stood before Mrs. Hall in her office. I stared at my shoes, hiding the thin smile on my face. Crying, Fuckhead clutched his bleeding face.
He hit me with his bag. A lot. Like getting slammed by Cassius Clay.
Muhammad Ali, Mrs. Hall corrected. Tell me, are you a full foot taller than Damien? Fuckhead cried silently, knowing what was coming. Guess he wasn't the easy pickings you expected him to be, huh? Asked Mrs. Hall. That's what you get for picking a fight with somebody not knowing how tough he is. I stopped concealing my smile. The next day, I tried once again to read my comic in peace.
Swamp is mine,
the lizard hissed, trying to look menacing as it bled out through an arm injury. The wasp, who was more of a camp, absolutely fabulous character than your usual superheroine, realized he was as frightened of her as she was of him. She attempted to diffuse the situation with humor.
Right, you're Swamp. I was just passing by on my way to the plaza, so I thought I'd stop in. Charming muck, très chic. I laughed. Female superheroes were the best.
Their powers were less impressive, so they had to use their brains. I wondered if any male comic book fan alive liked Janet Van Dyne as much as I did. I doubted it. My enjoyment of Secret Wars No. 6 ended abruptly when the diminutive Phil McCracken appeared, wearing his trademark all-white tracksuit, blonde spiked hair, and the massive chip on his shoulder.
I heard what you did to my man Flavio yesterday. Hit him with your school bag. How's that for fighting fair? I hear one sleazy story about you after the next.
Flavio? Fuckhead's real name is Flavio? Wild! I was outside again during lunch hour, my back against the chain-link fence, being confronted by some lunkhead with an inflamed amygdala for the second day running. On a lark, I replied to Phil McCracken in the Incredible Hulk's growling, echoing Louis Armstrong voice.
Hulk want to be left alone. Hulk hates stupid Phil McCracken.
Phil strutted over, stopping just short of shoving his groin in my face.
Talk regular.
I stared at Phil's crotch.
Phil McCracken tiny. No honor in Hulk swatting fly.
Are you making fun of my height now, bitch?
I climbed to my feet. I was twice Phil's size.
Phil McCracken is so angry and so little, like a baby Hulk, so cute and cuddly.
Phil thrust his chest against mine, glaring up into my eyes.
I'm not cute. I'm one dangerous bastard. You better not fuck with me.
I threw my arms around Phil, crushing the teeny-tiny bully in a vice-like hug.
Hulk want to adopt Phil McCracken. Hulk loves Phil McCracken.
Get off me, you gay motherfucker. Quit hugging me.
Hulk wants to kiss Phil McCracken's smooth baby cheeks.
I planted a big wet smooch on Phil's cheek. Phil broke free, lurched backwards, and nearly tripped over himself.
You kissed me. Are you out of your mind? You kissed me. Are you gay or something?
No, Hulk loved Betty Ross.
Phil shook his fist at me.
You are gay, aren't you?
I faked wide, sad eyes and spoke in hulkish melancholy.
Hulk lonely. Hulk want friend. Will Phil McCracken be Hulk's friend?
In my head, the sad piano theme to the old Incredible Hulk television show played.
Fuck that.
Phil sprinted away. It would be the last I ever saw of him.
Homophobe,
I tossed my head back and belly laughed like a drunk Viking. Then I sat down and checked in on Wasp and Lizard. I wonder if I'm ever going to finish this fucking scene. The next day at lunch, nobody bothered me. I was able to eat in peace against the fence. I finally made it up to Secret Wars number 7.
Took bloody long enough.